this is Rabbi Shlomo Zalman Bregman of the Jewish Executive Learning Network, and in today's short and sweet clip, I'd like to respond to another common Shidduch-related question that I receive all the time, and that is, when should I consider revisiting a Shidduch, a date, a circumstance, a Shidduch opportunity that I already explored before? Maybe there's somebody I went out with 3 months ago or 3 years ago. People are bringing up the suggestion again, or I'm still thinking about him, I'm still thinking about her. Is this something that I should revisit? Yes, no, what do you think? So I'll just share with you a few practical tips from experience that what I've seen. Number one, understand that almost always there is a reason why your Shidduch stopped in the first place. Maybe you went out with him or her for a while, you saw stuff that didn't seem to resonate with you, and you just let it go. Now, there's a reason why you let it go, and the fact you haven't found somebody better yet doesn't mean that you need to go revisit that. That's number one. Number two, if the other person stopped it, there was probably a reason why. So why do you necessarily want to date somebody who wasn't interested or so interested in you before as a candidate for marriage and your time didn't go anywhere? So in general, I think once you did a Shidduch and you tried it, you tried your best, if you said no or the other person said no, generally I think you should let it go and don't revisit. Now, that being said, I'm hanging an asterisk over here. I think there are a few exceptions to this rule that I'd like for you to consider, okay? And these are times that for some of my Talmidim, some of my disciples, the people with whom I learned Torah and turned to me for advice, that I heard a specific case and I said, you know what? I think you should revisit it, okay? And here are a few examples. Number one, something changed on the ground. Some of the facts on the ground changed, okay? I'll give you an example. There was a fellow I knew who considered me to be his rabbi. He was dating, and he openly admits that he was immature at the time. He was new to dating originally, and he had went out with someone, and they went out a couple times, and he was only 3 weeks into dating. And at the time, he had confessed to me later, he said, you know why I let it go with that young lady? Because at the time, I felt, hey, I'm new at dating, I only want what he called a 10. And in my mind, he said, I gave her an 8. I gave her an 8, and now, but you know what happened? A couple years have passed. I've mellowed a lot. I'm much more realistic. I don't have as much purchase power in the Shidduch market as I thought I once did. Okay, I calmed down. I've settled. I mellowed. So, and now I realize that young lady I went out with 3 weeks in, she's not a 10, she's a 14 compared to everyone else I had met so far. So in that case, I felt that since he was coming to the table more contrite, more settled, with some hachna, with his head bowed a little, some facts have changed on the ground. He's a different person than he was back then when he was starting dating and he thought he was a hotshot, went out with 50 people. He's mellowed now, okay? In that case, I thought it would make sense for the young woman to revisit because he was interested. That's one case, okay? I'll give you another scenario. Sometimes I've seen this happen. Let's say there's a young man who comes to my shiurim, Jewish Executive Learning Network classes, New York, whatever, and he's from birth, and he comes from a very yeshivish background, and somehow he ended up at a Shabbos table, and there was a woman there, a young lady, who had been observant for 3 months at the time. He's an FFB boy from Brooklyn, and there's a girl, very nice, but she's been from for 3 months. He's basically now, he's observant for 25 years and she for 3 months. So what happened? They on their own, they went out a couple times. And he said, very nice girl, but where is she holding now? He said, look, her tznius isn't all the way tznius. Her Shabbos isn't all the way Shabbos. Her kashrus is not on my level. I like her, the chemistry is there, the connection's there, the human being is there, very, very special person, but the observant level is not there. What happened? He reaches out to me. This young woman ends up going to seminary in Eretz Yisrael for like 2 years. I don't know, Neve Yerushalayim, Echveis, Madresha, I don't remember where she ends up. She comes back 2 years later. He's still single, and they're on the same observant plane, okay? Again, to me, that's another case where the facts on the ground have changed. I would say, yeah, revisit it because the person is not the same person that you went out with before. One other example, this recently came my way. A certain couple had gone out about a year ago. What happened? I'm just reading what they had told me. The one person lived in another part of the United States. Let's just say right now, the guy lived in Los Angeles and the young woman lived in New York. They went out. They liked each other, seemed to be okay, But what happened? He says, you know what? I will not move out of the LA area at all. And she says, I will not move out of the New York area at all. And they each have their reasons. She wants to be near her family. He wants to be near his business and stuff he has going on. And it ended. What happened? A couple years later, they both seem to still be thinking about each other. And the guy, in this case, it happened to be on the West Coast, lowered his demand of saying, I will never move anywhere else. His new attitude is, I will live. I'm willing to live. For the right young lady, I will live anywhere in North America that makes the most maximum sense for the couple as a whole. It could be LA, it could be New York, it could be Chicago. I will live anywhere that makes the most sense for the team if I end up doing a shidduch. Since that requirement changed, that attitude changed, then I would say, you know what, there's new facts on the ground, might be time to reconsider. But anyway, each of these to me is a case-by-case basis. You have to think about it, you have to proceed with wisdom, and it's good to reach out to somebody, a Rav, a Rebbitzin, someone experienced, to get a better feel. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's clip. If you have any shidduch related questions you'd like to send me, simply write me an email, director@jeln.org. I'd love to try to address them. Also, if you have feedback, I'd love to hear that as well. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow these classes on Torah Anytime, and we will see you the next time. Thank you.